Hey, what's going on, YouTube? The Beardy Baron here, bringing you another Phasmo video. In today's video, we're going to take on detectives only. This is going to give us... We got to put our detective skills to the test because the ghost is giving nothing away. I think this is going to be a no evidence kind of run. It's got to be done on 42 Edgefield Road. So if you like this video, please give it a like, share it with a friend. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And then also, comment down below how many tries you think it's going to take me. Don't peeky. Don't go to the end of the video. Don't see how many tries it takes me. But let's see how many that we can get here. This weekly challenge sucks. There's no two ways about it. It sucks. It's a no evidence with tier 1 equipment, which is already worse as it is. Now, basically, the right half of the pegboard we don't really even have to worry about because there's nothing in there that's really going to help us, with the exception of the video cameras. Right? So I'm going to bring in EMF. We're going to bring in a flashlight for you guys and the camera. So for this challenge for this week, it's going to be the Ouija board. So you can use the Ouija board. I'm going to try not to use the Ouija board so we can keep our sanity up, so that way we can do other checks for the ghosts. There's about a 1 out of 2 chance that you are going to get, about a 50% chance that you're going to get a ghost that you can identify during the hunt. We have found doing this challenge that seems to be way harder of a statistic to get. I don't know if the devs put it that way, but it sucks. Oh, there's the bone. First thing here is just to try to find the ghost room. Right, I thought I heard it. Is there a way to show the filters that I have? I can. I have a TikTok and a YouTube short about it as well. So it's pretty much just changing around your gamma filter on your game, so that way it makes it easier to be able to see. Yeah, that was the devs making the game darker like this has always been something that it's never set well with me, because it's always been something. I heard a cup get thrown. I think it's over here. Or dining room. Definitely a cup got thrown. Living room? Okay, somewhere a cup was thrown. Apparently we don't know where anymore. Definitely like a porcelain. It sounded like a cup. Yeah, no worries, lunch. I can show you after this, too. Let's see, where are you at? Okay, apparently this ghost is non-existent. It exists within our mind and nowhere else. What door did you just touch? I know I'm not going crazy. I'm going crazy. Bro. Where are you at? Okay. You know what? We're gonna ask it. Where are you? Goodbye. It's in the kitchen. Where in the kitchen? Because out of everything you have to play with in the kitchen, that was not a thought that I had that you were in the kitchen. Okay. At least we got some stuff. Okay. So we figured out where the ghost room is. I'm gonna put this down. I knew I heard a cup get thrown, unless it moved the cup from like the center of this over to over here. If it touched it that much and that's the interaction we've gotten thus far, that really sucks. Okay, so we're going to put down salt. Salt test for a Wraith. That's what we're testing for a Wraith. Okay. We brought in the video camera to look for orbs for a mimic. So we got that. We're going to use that as well. Now, I brought in the crucifixes. We're going to bring in the candles. Candles are going to test for an Onryo. Onryos are scared of the flame. They do not like the flame. Right? So we're going to put down 3 candles here. We're going to turn off this light. I'm going to turn off this light. We're going to look for orbs. Okay, we got it stepping through the salt, so it's not a Wraith. I don't see any orbs, so we're going to rule out Mimic. Right? And now we're going to see on how energetic it feels about blowing out those candles. Now, another test that you can do is that if it doesn't seem to blow out the candles with you around, then it could also be a sign that it is a Banshee. So you can take a look at that as well. Now, we've also got the, or not a Banshee, but a Shade. Okay? It blew out the candle, all 3 candles now, but we weren't here. Let's see if we can get anything. So with us not being here, we can't tell whether or not that we were inside the house and whether or not that it's an Onryo. What about a Shade? Shade will not want to blow out a candle with you in it. With you in the room. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it blew out a candle with us in the room. I don't think it's a Shade. Now, if it blows out these 2 other candles, if it is an Onryo will want to hunt us when it blows out 3 candle lights, right? It's always in groupings of 3. So it blew out those 3 candles while we were out in the van, so now we're going to test again whether or not that it'll blow these out in the van. Threw something again. Does not seem overly active. We are getting some parabolic activity. No, like, Banshee Whale yet. All right, we got 3 blowouts. Not an Onryo. All right. Now, what we can do is, what you could do as well is you could ask the ghost on how old it is. A young ghost could determine that it could be like a Thay that would be aging over time. So we could do like, how old are you? How old are you? Right, already 89. Goodbye. Goodbye. Right, so 89 years old already kind of tells me that this is probably not a Thay. Plus, it doesn't seem overly aggressive. Has not hunted us yet or during any kind of early hunt, so I'm going to rule out a demon at this point in time. The other thing that we can do as well is we're going to test for whether or not that it's wandering around. So we're going to bring in the motion sensors. All right, I'm going to see if it ever decides to leave the rooms. It won't do, like, it won't, like, blow out a candle. I can't say for certain that it won't do any kind of interaction, but it shouldn't. The other reason why we put the motion sensors close to the floor instead of up top is that because if you have the child ghost, at least it used to, I don't know if it still does, but it used to go underneath the motion sensor without setting it off. Just rewatched the early hunting Yuri with the timer. It hunted in 1 minute and 11 seconds. Still too early for a Yuri. Yeah. Yep. You'd think that an early hunt like that. Okay, so this left the room. Right? So that means it shouldn't be a Goryo and it shouldn't be... Well, a Banshee can still roam, but a Goryo would not roam. So that's what it should be. Does, especially when crawling? Yeah. All right, let's ask this again. How old are you? Still 89. Goodbye. Goodbye. So the ghost, if this was a Thay, okay, now it moved totally. It's over. I heard it over there in, it touched the locker. So now what we could do, actually, let me do this. We're going to go out. We're going to get some sound sensors. Right? Lazy Days Z76. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put down the sound sensor. Now we know that one ghost is over here. Right? We know that we heard the ghost over here in the garage. So I'm going to put one right here. And then we'll put like a third one, maybe like right over here. Now what the sound sensor is going to do is that it's going to tell us whether or not that what we're dealing with, right, where everything is at. So we got one in the garage, which is completely different from the kitchen. Right? Now we're getting activity out of the living room area, but not in the kitchen area. So that could indicate that the ghost has decided to wander around. Could be wandering. Now we got a living room kitchen, so that means probably like this dining room table area right here, somewhere in this overlap is what we're dealing with. So probably not twins at this point in time. If it turned off the power, then it's not a gen. Smack Daddy, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Yep, it turned off the power. So not a gen. All right. So we've done a bunch of tests thus far with everything, with trying to rule it out as much as possible. Now, it has not done a hissing event. It also has not showed up at all. So I can't determine whether or not that it is a like a phantom. So we're going to grab a camera just so that way we're on the safe side. So that way if it does do an event, then we can try that. Try to get a photo of it and see. Right? Knock knock. Knock knock. Knock knock. Goodbye. Okay. I did the knock knock jokes because I just wanted to drop down my sanity a little bit. Right? We didn't want to drop it down a whole lot. So by doing knock knock jokes, you see we went from like 70s down to like the 50s. Because I want to see the threshold here. Now, it has not really changed rooms at all. I'm going to say probably not a mare. Also, probably not a poltergeist. We have not had any kind of like polter ability. It has not really thrown a whole bunch of stuff, so I don't think that it's that either. Oh, I hate it when they're quiet ghosts. It 100% is the worst. Right? So now we've already ruled out quite a few things based off of everything, right? Based off of like non-hunting things. Still don't think that it's a banshee at all. TTV Princess Babe, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Angie, we're doing the weekly challenge. It is a no evidence run. So I'm kind of explaining to folks what we would do, how you narrow down the ghost based off of the evidence. Nice. Easy money. What was the name? Princess Babe. Right, what's my sanity at? We are at 48%. So we should be in the hunt threshold now for the vast majority of ghosts, unless this is a shade. Deep, 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 deep. You gonna hiss at me? Or did you just turn off the light? Turned off the light in 2 different rooms. Now I'm starting to think that you are a mare. Okay, super difficult to see. This is more than likely it's a phantom. Please don't die in the process. All right, perfect. So we got the ghost photo. It's a perfect photo. It's clear as day. It's clear as the interaction photo that we got, but you don't see any ghost in the photo. So that right there would tell us that this is a phantom. Yep. So that's how you would rule that out. Oni would be the exact opposite. Oni would be very visible during the hunts, so that's something to look out for. Hantus gonna move faster inside the ghost room because it's colder, but they'll move much slower when they go outside of the ghost room. Deujin are gonna move very fast until they get close to you, and then they will slow down considerably. They will know exactly where you are all the time. Obakes will shapeshift. Right? So if you're dealing with a ghost, if you're trying to smudge it and you see a ghost and it changes its model form, that's an Obake. Morois will go faster. The lower your sanity is, the faster that the Moroi will go. But it'll be doubly affected by the smudges. So rather than the smudge of being effective for 5 seconds, it'll be affected for 10 seconds. Raijus are powered by electronic devices nearby. So they will be a normal speed ghost unless there is an electronic nearby, and then they will move really fast. So if you're having speed fluctuations, it could be a reason. Revenants will move very slow unless they have a line of sight speed on you, and then it will move very fast. So those are pretty easy to identify as well. Spirits, when you smudge the area, it should take 3 minutes for the spirit in order to hunt you again. If it's anything less than 3 minutes, then it's not a spirit. Banshees, especially with multiple people, it will only target one person. It will follow that one person around. That does not transfer between floors, so keep that in mind for Edgefield because it's more of a vertical setup than anything else. But it will only focus on one person, and it won't hunt anybody else. A way to be able to tell Banshee by yourself is put up a bunch of motion sensors in different parts of the house and see if that ghost actually makes its way towards you. Yuris and yokais, very difficult to tell in my opinion, especially during a hunt with the way that this game is. Yokais, you basically, you hold onto your flashlight. If your flashlight is flickering, but the ghost doesn't have a line of sight on you, then it might not pick up on where you're at. So that's kind of a way of being able to tell. Yuris love to touch doors. They will shut doors fully. However, we've found out recently that in order for the Yuri to start touching doors and to close doors fully, you actually have to touch all of the doors first. So if you go into a room, you got to touch all of the doors around you. So that way, if it is a Yuri, it'll start interacting with the doors a lot more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for everything. Oh, and a Myling, and this one is hard on this map as well, but a Myling, when it moves far enough away from you, you will hear the interactions. You will hear the ghost talk, like the ghost cries or whatever, but you won't hear the footsteps. The audio drop-off for the footsteps is very abrupt, so that's something to keep an eye out. But it's, again, it's more distance. This is more of a vertical map than it is a horizontal map, so that makes it difficult to hear that kind of thing. But that's how basically you would figure out where everything is at for a no evidence run for this challenge, or the weekly challenge. Again, if you are running this, I highly just recommend that you just run with a 12.77x or whatever that you feel comfortable with running for no evidence runs, because you're going to get way more bang for your buck, personally.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
My God.
Good
Lord, that is so annoying. For 5,100 gold, too. Or for 5,100 for money's sake. It's not worth it. Watch, I'm going to show you this, okay? Wholeheartedly. And you can still do this even with level 1 equipment. Right? You just put this over onto, instead of on challenge mode, where you have to do this 3 times. Right? I'm going to put this on a 12.77x. Here's the stats, right? You got the player, you got the ghost, you got the contract. Right? We're going to go to Camp Woodwind. We're going to do this. Hold on. I got to get my incense. I have incense.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
There we go. Going back over here. Literally, the only people the challenge isn't a troll for is people who haven't unlocked the higher difficulties yet. I mean, like, for us to do, when you take into consideration how many ghosts are based off of like a speed variation, right? Like a Revenant, a Hantu, a Diogen, a Moroi, a Thay, a Raiju. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 24. So we have a 1 in 4 chance, a 25% chance of getting a ghost that is based off of based off of the speed of the ghost. Right? And then you have about a 1 in, I'm going to say a half. You got about a 50% chance of seeing a ghost based off of the way that it the way that it hunts. Sanity Leia, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Okay, even this one doesn't want to give me. All right, this one's an Obake. Don't play Resident Evil game. You should.
Welcome back.
All right.
There's some jobs ready for you.
So we just did the weekly challenge, which took us a shit ton of time because the ghosts absolutely weren't making any kind of sense whatsoever. Versus us doing one match of 43 seconds, and I got more than half the same amount of money. If you're doing the weekly challenge, it's a waste of time, in my opinion. Now, you can practice. You can just go in there and keep repeating the same process until you get your 3 guesses to get your $5,000, which is great. But if you're already doing no evidence runs, it's way better to do something like the no evidence setup that we have versus trying to do that weekly challenge because it just doesn't make any sense.